From a very young age, my two favorite subjects were geography and history. Nothing makes me crazier than hearing people speak inaccurately about the past and distort geographical borders of historical lands. So I figured I should take a moment to give you a crash course on me, your favorite Palestinian rabbi. Just in case you think I'm being humorous, I'm joking. I assure you that I am not, so hear me out. My name is Rabbi Chaim Brook. I live in Bozeman, Montana, but I was born at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. I grew up in Brooklyn and spent 3 years studying in yeshiva, high school and rabbinical school in Israel, or Palestine, or the Ottoman Empire, or forget it. It has so many names going back all the way to Canaan, but no matter its name, it was the place of the Jews, where Abraham and Sarah dwelled, so did Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Leah, Rachel, Benjamin, Joshua, Samson, Judah the Maccabee, Rabbi Judah the Prince, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Rabbi Akiva, Nachmanides, the Arizal, Rabbi Yosef Karo, and yes, my grandparents. You see, my father, Levi Brook, was born in Rishon LeZion, Israel in May of 1952. And though he came to the United States in 1971, most of his family stayed back in their ancestral homeland. His mother, my Savta Hannah Brook, was born in Jerusalem in 1923, way before the modern state of Israel. Yup, she was born under the British Mandate of Palestine. It actually gets more interesting. Her father, Rabbi Nachman Scheinberger, was born in Jerusalem in 1900, and her mother, Miriam Rachel, maiden name Sonnenfeld, was born there too in 1898. But there's more. My grandmother's paternal grandparents, Pinchas Hersh and Malkehinda Scheinberger, were both born in Israel in 1835 and 1837 respectively. Her maternal grandparents, Avram Aaron and Chai Rivka Sonnenfeld, were also born in Jewish Jerusalem in the 1880s. And yes, my great-great-great-grandfather, Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, was the chief rabbi of Jerusalem until his passing in 1932. And my other great-great-great-grandfather, Rabbi Akiva Yosef Schlesinger, purchased many lands in Israel and helped revitalize many Jewish towns and villages in the late 1800s. My grandparents lived through the 1929 massacre in Hebron, when in August of that year, incited by their mufti, Arabs in Hebron murdered over 100 Jews, men, women, and children. And this was almost 20 years before the modern state of Israel. They just hated Jews, no state necessary. Oh, and by the way, my grandfather, Rabbi Nachmanish, along with the Rachman Strifka Rebbe, were stabbed by an Arab in Jerusalem in the early 1900s. And though my grandfather survived, sadly, the Rachman Strifka Rebbe didn't. This was not because of the IDF or occupation or any other lies being spewed, because at that time, the land was controlled by the British and there was no IDF. So, my friends, if Palestinians are those who lived under the British Mandate of Palestine, I guess I'm a Palestinian. A Palestinian Jew whose family has suffered immensely from the terror of Islamic terrorism and still does to this very day. I stand with the right of return. We have about 1,000 or more descendants who are refugees of the Scheinberger family all across the globe. We want our homes back. We want UNRWA to arrange new homes so we can go back to our ancestral land in Jerusalem, Hebron, and all over the British Mandate of Palestine. No, I'm not joking. I'm tired of hearing the pathetic ignorance being spewed about ethnic cleansing and apartheid. I'm sick of the lies about genocide and baby killing. I'm tired of the radical leftists like Cornel West and Rashida Tlaib inciting and brainwashing students who stand with Hamas. I'm disgusted by the radical right like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens who are playing word games and refuse to take a clear stand with the good people of the world against the evil Nazis. And though I'm super unimpressed by those who claim neutrality, I'm grateful to the amazing people of Montana who know right from wrong, good from evil, and stand with Israel and their local Jewish communities with all their heart and soul. I know I'm up against too many universities, too many agenda-driven educators who are brainwashing American youth with lies and distortions. I know I'm fighting against a generation who thinks it's hip to hate Jews, but I am not disheartened. I'm invigorated. I'm stoked, I'm pumped, and I am up for the challenge. We will do person-to-person combat, educating, inspiring, guiding, and it will result in a more educated, more enlightened, more loving world, where people won't need to spew hatred to feel important, won't need to put others down to make themselves feel relevant, and a world in which everyone will follow the Jewish biblical model of respecting each human being for who he or she is, a person created in the image of Almighty God. From the river to the sea, Jews will be around for all eternity.